Okay, so we're going to talk about what I've learned this year. Um, Something I just picked up in the last week. Someone told me about it. It's called the bird on a branch, detachment theory. So let's do a little story of why I thought picked this up. So I'm going to be real with you. 2 times this year, I don't like to spill out my relationships on the internet, but 2 times this year, 2 different people told me something along the lines of, your soul is so special. You're amazing. You're this. I'll never get bored of you. Hey, let's do this, this, and this together, making all these future plans. But 2 people, actually standing in the exact same spot in the house that I'm currently staying in, one said, your soul is so special. I'll never get bored of you. She was gone a week later. Another person, a girl, said I'm obsessed with you. And I was like, well, like, you're so awesome. I was like, yeah, well, if people can say things, let's see how it turns out. And I remember even kind of telling this person, I was like, you don't know me yet. I weird people out. No, I'll never get bored of you. I love your weirdness. A week later, she was gone. So people can say all they want, and it doesn't really mean that they'll stay. It doesn't ever mean that they're going to be there forever. And like, okay, my second lesson of this year that I could share is I know why they left. It's like, because I showed them a bit of anxiety, and I showed them a bit of like, and it's a problem with me. I got excited, and then I jump, and I'm like, oh, this person could be my next girlfriend. And then I get too excited and hyper focused and let some of my anxiety out. And that's another lesson. As harsh as it sounds towards men, um, I've dated tons of girls where I reassured them when they needed it. When they needed reassurance, I gave them it and it calmed their anxiety. But as soon as I showed any, I don't think it's because they have malice or anything. It's just anxiety is the opposite of confidence. And there's even women that really understand it, it still icks them out. It just does. Even if they don't want it to. I know people that are like healthcare workers, mental care workers, and like even the guys they date, it's just like they say, it icks them out so much. Like, so you as a man, you just have to be able to deal with that fear of abandonment. You have to deal with those anxieties because it'll always ick your partner out. Speaking of this bird on a branch thing, and it was someone that I was seeing and someone that was really, really into me for a moment and then just lost interest out of nowhere, which it happens. It's fine. Probably something to do with me being an anxious little guy on the old texting. Um, and they told me, like, you should think about detachment theory, and it really changed my life. And then when she told me about it, I looked it up, and it is an interesting concept. It's about thinking about a bird sitting on a branch, and like the bird, it's nice to rest on that branch, but the bird itself is never fully relying on the branch, because if the branch breaks, it has its own wings. And in the future, I am going to try and live life, and I'm not going to lie, I have been, and I think a lot of my disappointment has come from trying to rely on people. Even things simple as like plans seem to never work out with certain people, but it's just kind of being a bird on a branch and not caring if they fail, and just setting myself up and knowing that even if they're not reliable, everything will be fine for me, and thinking that way in life and not relying on anyone. As much as, I want a partner and we buy a big house together, it's like, maybe that won't happen. Maybe, I got to just take steps in my own way to get into real estate the way I want, and the dream of having a partner where you both support each other, it might not happen right away for everyone. Might not happen eventually. That's the sad thing. Not to sound all anti-fairy tale, it might not ever happen for you. So you might as well live your life to make yourself happy. So yeah, that's about one or two things I learned in 2023.